How's it going, everybody? This is Silver Stormbreaker, and welcome to my brand new channel. I had to start over from scratch. After 5-6 years, my original channel is no longer monetized, so this is my new one. This is the first ever reaction video I did for this channel, but I've done multiple in my other channel. So if you haven't checked out my old channel, which is Guardians of Ulioth, which is no longer producing videos, but now it's this one, Silver Stormbreaker, and why not? Why better out than just kick off with a reaction than other just gameplay? As I said before, my other channel, I do other things besides just play video games. So right now, I'm going to be reacting to something called, well, it's a movie review. So I'm going to help review with the reviewers on this on this review. So let's minimize this and get started, shall we? This is Siskel and Ebert's review for a movie I used to watch back then called North, starring Elijah Wood, Juicy Smollett, Bruce Willis, Scarlett Johansson. Let's see what they got to say about it.
See this rash? You see it? Him mole men. There's no ointment.
Let me tell you something. Let me remind you who you're talking to. Only this year's recipient of the coveted Mr. Inseam Award. Well, that shut him up.
A boy played by Elijah Wood gets fed up with his folks in that scene from North and decides that since they don't pay attention to him, he will divorce them and go looking for a new set of parents. And that's the setup for one of the most thoroughly hateful movies of recent years. A movie that makes me cringe even when I'm sitting here thinking about it. Look at this scene, for example, where young North is in court trying to dump his parents who are comatose with shock.
And there's nothing left for me to do.
I still think that this is just a parallel universe. If Elaine and George from Seinfeld got married and sort of canceled out their stupidity and gave birth to a child prodigy. I mean, it's made by the same production company as Seinfeld, Castle Rock. But yeah, just imagine what happens if George and Elaine actually hooked up. Two idiots making a genius child. That's something.
I make my judgment. And in my judgment, any folks who would sleep through a trial like this are folks who don't deserve to have a wonderful, upstanding son like North.
Then there's a series of auditions as would-be parents from around the country try out for the role of North's new mom and dad. Dan Aykroyd and Reba McEntire are a couple of absurd Texans who want to adopt him.
We had a son who was trampled by a ton of longhorns, but you're here cute to fill his boots, as flat as they may be.
Next stop, the Hawaiian Islands, where we get some amazingly tasteless dialogue about why these two people don't have children.
Hawaii is a lush and fertile land.
Man's not even Hawaiian.
In fact, there's only one barren area on all of our islands. Unfortunately, it's Mrs. Home.
A mysterious...
As a kid, I never got that joke. As an adult, man, that joke is harsh as an adult. But as a kid, you just think it's just something funny. My goodness.
Mysterious character keeps turning up on North's travels. He's played by Bruce Willis as an Easter Bunny, a Western ranch hand, a beachcomber, and a Federal Express driver who gets in lots of product plugs.
Some kind of guardian angel?
Well, I guess you can say that. Because in a manner of speaking, we at Federal Express feel that we are guardians. Guardians of your most important packages and priority communication.
I hated this movie as much...
It just showcases what Bruce Willis would have been if he wasn't an actor. He would just basically be all of this.
You can say that. Because in a manner of speaking, we at Federal Express feel that we are guardians. Guardians of your most important packages and priority communication.
I hated this movie as much as any movie we've ever reviewed in the 19 years we've been doing this show.
Okay,
I hated it.
Whoa, okay, whoa. 19 years of doing this show. You guys have critiqued lots of movies in your time, but this is the movie that you guys say is total hot garbage? And these guys, I think, reviewed Batman and Robin. I mean, wow, I know this movie has its flaws, but really that many? I mean, as a kid and somebody who lives in a non-violent neighborhood, I think this is like the wholesomest movie in the world, but... You know, it's funny though, because I only ever watched this movie when I was sick at home. I didn't go to school, and I was just, when Jerry Springer would end, I would just watch this because I was bored. I was just bored, and I just watched this movie out of boredom. So it's a good time killer. I would just say it's a good time killer. But my goodness, 19 years of doing this show, and this was the movie that just seems to butt fuck him the wrong way.
Because of the premise, which seems shockingly cold-hearted, and because this...
Oh, by the way, that's that Eskimo right there. That's Richard Belzer from Law and Order SVU. That's Detective Munch. In case you guys didn't know, because he wasn't... I don't think he was credited in this movie. I mean, would you want to be recognized doing this movie?
Premise is being suggested to kids as children's entertainment, and because everybody in the movie was vulgar and stupid, and because the jokes weren't funny, and because most of the characters were obnoxious, and because of the phony attempt to add a little pseudo-hip philosophy with a Bruce Willis character. Now, I think Elijah Wood is a fine young actor, and of course Rob Reiner, the director, has made one terrific movie after another, so I would prefer to consider North as just a very unfortunate aberration in these otherwise admirable careers.
Well,
going on that is actually true. Surprisingly enough, Elijah Wood did make a career even after this dog shit of a film. Rob Reiner is a respectable director who's done a lot of good movies, but, you know, there's always that director's curse where it's like a director eventually makes one dog shit film and it just follows him through the rest of his life. And this happens to be just his, I guess he says, magnum opus of a pile of dog shit that is in Hollywood. Like, that's his contribution to a pile of dog shit. So, yeah, I agree. Every director goes through that phase where they make one bad movie. It's not their fault.
Well, I mean, I think you got to hold Rob Reiner's feet to the fire here. I mean, he's the guy in charge. He's saying that this is entertainment. It's deplorable. I mean, there isn't a gag that works.
Right.
You couldn't write worse jokes if I told you to write
And
worse
of course, you
jokes.
could always...
The ethnic stereotyping is appalling.
Yes.
It's embarrassing. You feel unclean as you're sitting there. It's junk. First class junk.
And then the...
First class is right. You have an entire ensemble of amazing actors, and I guess they're like downgraded at this point because you have... The list goes on. I mean, I can't list all of them, but there's a lot of like really big names in this movie, and it kind of feels like they just got kicked in the balls in this case. But oof, man, okay, I don't know what else to even say about that except I actually felt bad for them having to be in this movie. As an adult now, I can realize how much of a dog shit movie this is, but as like a kid and as a teenager, and I just watched this to pass the time, I thought some parts of it were kind of funny, but then again, I was sick. So, you know, having a cold, you know, disrupts your senses. And in this case, now that I'm a fully functioning adult, and even with this, I still think the movie's not funny. And I have this, and I still don't think the movie is good. It's not. I mean, it's not. Not anymore.
idea that kids might be lured in by television ads to see this movie about a little child who, you know, throws away his parents and goes shopping for a new set. It's really...
Any subject could be done well. This is just trash, Roger.
Okay.
But yeah, little known fact about the movie. In the movie, the guy that plays as Nort's baseball coach is actually the writer of the novel that the movie is based on. So I wonder if they asked him, like, did he see the full movie? Was it all like he imagined it to be? I can imagine in the book it might seem a lot better because you can imagine it in your head as something that's more adventurous than what the movie perceives. I mean, but then again, that's Hollywood for you. They take something from a book, they change it up a bit, they make it almost like it's their idea, and then they're like, well, it's based on this, it's based on that. But in the end of the day, you know, I see to myself, I guess like every kid wants to wish for like a set of like good parents. I mean, especially for kids who go through like a horrible childhood. Like, those are the type of kids that this movie was like based for, and the book was based for. It's like imagining a world where they weren't born into a bad house, bad set of parents, and you're like, well, let's trade. How about I leave, you guys stay miserable, I'll go find a family that actually appreciates me. Interesting concept, likely concept, but it's still fictional. But all in all, the concept is good. It's just the way they perceived the movie was just trash. I mean, the music is a little over the top. And as they say, the stereotypes are more offensive than anything. I mean, come on, you have Kathy Bates playing as an Eskimo, and I think you have I think the guy was Korean playing a Hawaiian person, and that borderline Baron joke was just a little too far. But then again, when you're a kid, you don't get those kind of jokes. When you're an adult, you get them. I forgot who it was had said something that people in the West don't dress up like they do in the Texas part. They say that was just even a little over the top, even by cowboy standards. So it's just pushing along the lines that that's something you would see in Hollywood. It's not something you would see in real life. But yeah, if I had to, I'd have to agree with Siskel and Ebert on this. But like I said, back then, when you're younger, you appreciate these kind of movies because it sends you into a world that you kind of wish was true. But as an adult, you're realizing that this movie sucks. It's garbage. It's trash, but it's memorable. You know, it's like the movie The Room. It's trash, but it's memorable. Kind of like this movie. You know it's bad, but it's something like you can't help but watch again just to admire how shitty it is. I mean, I just recently saw a scene. I mean, there's only one part of the scene that makes me laugh, and it's just the over-the-topness. I guess it's a pity laugh. I'm not laughing in general saying that, oh, this is a funny scene. It's like, nah, this is more of a pity laugh than an actual laugh. It gets nothing out of me. If I'd have to rate this movie as a kid, I would say the movie is a 5 out of 10. As an adult, it's not even a 0.5. It's a 0. It's a flat-out 0 out of 10. And quite honestly, I'm actually surprised Scarlett Johansson made a career out of this movie. This is the first movie she did, and now she's playing as Black Widow in the Marvel Universe. She's also Lucy from Lucy, or as I call it, Elfin Lied, which is basically what it is. And I'm surprised even Jussie Smollett made a career out of this movie, and he went from being a kid on this movie to being an adult in the show Empire. And of course, Elijah Wood, I don't know how you struggled through that, even though I think your first role was Back to the Future 2. Then you did this movie, and then you're like the second coming of the nerd universe of Lord of the Rings, which I actually did not like Lord of the Rings. And I'm going to get hella comments on the bottom that says, how could you not like Lord of the Rings? Lord of the Rings was great. Nah, there's only one return, and it ain't of the king, it's of the Jedi. I'm Silver Stormbreaker. This has been This has been a review of a movie I used to watch. And now you guys can enjoy my reaction to my review of reviewing with reviewers. I haven't even lit this yet, and I just did that. So, if you're a returning warrior, welcome back. Leave a comment, leave a like. If you're new to this channel, hit that subscribe button, hit that notification, and you can also follow me on social media, on Instagram. I also have a TikTok account, which is at SilverStorm91. Instagram is the same as my YouTube channel, Silver Stormbreaker. Any questions, any comments, you can leave below in the comment section. I always read my comments. I always heart the comments if I think they're worthy enough. And again, if you want to be a Silver Stormbreaker warrior, just hit that subscribe button, hit the notification for new updates such as video games, reviews, reactions, and so forth. I want to return my original status of 2,210 subscribers to this channel, and right now I'm only at 4. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. I hope you guys enjoyed this review. I'll see if I can do some more. I'm also working on gameplays from both the PSP. I did try to do Nintendo, but it keeps lagging like crazy. So it's just PSP and Nintendo DS. Unfortunately, I can't get the sound to work on my DS. So that's it for I have for this video, and I'll see you guys in the next video. And as soon as I okay, and I'll see you guys in the next video.